Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Kylie, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how I turn this normal clear vase into something beautiful like this, something that you can paint any color to match your color scheme at home. So if you guys would like to see how I do this, then please keep watching. So before we get started, I wanted to show you before I put these away. So this is how the vase starts off. It's just your normal clear vase. This is something you could get anywhere at a store. I know they sell similar ones at the Dollar Tree. And then what I did is I painted it to be like this, so this fits the color scheme of the home, and that way when you put plants inside, like your dried flowers, which I love, you don't see the stems inside. And I made it textured, and this was another one that I had made. So this one was also a clear vase like that one, and I just decided to put some tall pampas leaves in it, and I just put it in the corner of my room on the floor against the dark blue wall, and it stands out and looks beautiful. And then these two were matching, so this is what they look like. These are the vases I've made into like an off-white, and then I just added my own pampas grass and some dried plants inside of it. So before we get started, I'm going to go through the things that you're going to need for this. So first of all, we're going to need a clear vase. Now this one is quite a big one. You can use any size and any shape. You're going to just need some newspaper, some paper to put down so that you don't get paint everywhere. You're going to need your acrylic paint, and this you can use any color paint you want. This is what I had, is the white color, so I'm going to be doing a white vase today. You're going to need some baking soda. I've also seen people use baking powder, either or, whatever you have. Then next you're going to need a empty, like a plastic container or bowl, anything you don't mind ruining and throwing away. As you can see, I still have some dried paint left over from the vases I just showed you before. You're going to need a spoon. I just use this plastic one because I can just throw it away, to mix the paint mixture. Then I'm going to, instead of doing the texture one like the vases I showed you before, I'm going to be doing a smooth colored one, something different. I haven't done it yet. I've only done the textured ones, so I'll see how that goes. So what we're going to need for that is some paint brushes, preferably a large paintbrush, or just depending, because this is quite a large vase, so I'm just needing a large paintbrush so it doesn't take so long. And then I was just going to tell you, you can do exactly the same steps here, and instead of using a paintbrush, you just get one of your sponges, and then you dab the sponge into your paint mixture that I'm going to show you how to make, and then you just dab it on. You let it dry, and then you go over it again once it's dry to get that textured effect. But like I said, today I'm going to be doing the smooth version of it, so I'm going to be using a paintbrush. Alright, so the first step that we're going to do is we're going to take our paint, and we're going to pour some of that paint into your plastic container. There isn't any specific measurements. I just pour quite a bit, just depending on how big your vase is. And then put that aside. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your baking soda or baking powder, and you're going to pour it in. Again, I don't have specific measurements for this. I just put it in, and then what I do is, if it would come out, what I do is I get my plastic spoon, and then I just mix it. And the texture or the consistency of this should be something a little bit more thick, not as runny. So you just add more and more as you go. Let's see. See how that is still a little too runny? So you just keep adding some more to the mixture. And then mix. Alrighty, I think I have the consistency that I'm looking for. So as you saw before, it was runny. Now when I pick it up like this, can you see it's a little bit more thicker? So what the baking soda or the baking powder does is it allows the paint to adhere to the vase. If you put normal paint on here, usually it would just fall off or scratch off if you bump it. So this is going to allow it to stick and stay. So now that I have the consistency I'm looking for, I'm going to put that down, put this aside here. Now I'm going to get my vase, and then I'm going to get my paintbrush, and all you're going to do is basically just paint the vase all the way around, like this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do a first initial layer. It's not going to be the thickest layer, but we're going to paint this, and then we're going to let it dry, and then only once it's dry do we come back and do another layer. So if you can see here, this is what it's going to look like. Don't worry if it doesn't look perfect or if it's still clear. Guys, I would like to mention that on the rim of the vase, you don't forget to paint that as well, because whatever you put in here, you're still going to see the rim, and we don't want it to look clear. So let's just paint the top. You can just dab it on like that. And also another thing to mention is you got to do this pretty quickly, but because we put the baking powder or baking soda into the mixture, it now turns it into something a bit more thicker. So hopefully this doesn't dry by the next time I have to paint it, but if it does, it's okay. I can just make some more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave my vase, as this is the first layer. I think we're going to do around 2 to 3 layers, just depending on how it looks after the second layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this to dry. I'll come back and I'll let you know how long more or less it took for this to dry before I put the second layer on. I'm going to wash my hand because by accident I touched it. So make sure you're wearing some clothes that you don't mind just getting a little bit dirty. I don't think this acrylic paint stains your clothing, especially with the baking soda, but you know, just in case. And what you're also going to want to do is to rinse your paintbrush, because this does get hard and you don't want your paintbrush to get ruined, because we still need to use it for the second layer. Alright guys, so I'm back and it is pretty much dry now. I can put my hand on it and nothing is coming off. So I think I waited about 10 to 15 minutes, I want to say. I did put it on my dining room table and my heater's on the wall over there, so that might have helped speed it up a little bit. So now I'm going to see with my paintbrush, the mixture has turned a little bit thick. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit more paint to it, and then I'm going to mix that in like so. Yeah, so now I've got the consistency that I'm looking for, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint it now for the second coat. So you're just going to do the same thing you were doing. Let me move this a little bit over. You're just going to paint over it and do some brush strokes. It's going to go on a lot thicker now, and just make sure you're brushing. If you can, I don't know if you can see what I've done there. Can you see the difference between this part over here? This is the second coat and this is the rest of the vase, and that line over here is the second coat. So now I'm going to give the whole vase a second coat of paint. So you can see here I've got the second layer of paint on, and then underneath here I haven't done it yet, so I just wanted to show you the difference between the two. So I can see there's like this little patch over here that just decided it doesn't want to stick, so I'm going to let that, I'm just going to leave it, and then when I do my third coat it should hopefully cover that. Alright guys, so I am back, and I waited about 15 to 20 minutes till the second layer had dried, just because it was a little bit thicker. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to be painting a third layer on. I went ahead and made a batch of new mixture. This one I made a little bit thinner than I did before, just because I don't want it to be as thick. I just want it to go on smooth. And the point of this is just to fill in whatever part of the vase you can still kind of see. And with it being thinner, I can actually get the thin brush strokes going down, so it looks more of a smoother effect than rather it being bumpy all over. So I'm going to do that now. Alright guys, so that is my third layer done. As you can see here, which I will be doing a close-up of, is that now my vase looks like there's no missing parts, so you cannot see the vase anymore, and it looks pretty smooth. Like I said, with the third layer, which is the last layer, the paint needs to be a little bit more thin than the first time you did it, so that we can get these even brush strokes all over the vase, and it fills in all the cracks that it had before from the second layer. So I'm going to leave this and let this dry for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll come back to you with a close-up of what it looks like, and then I'm going to be adding in some dried grass that I still have left over from making my other vases. Alright guys, so I have finished doing my vase. I had let it sit for about 20 minutes to let it dry, so it's all done now. Now what I'm going to do is, with this vase you can put dried flowers, you could put, you know, the plastic flowers, the ones you can get from like Dollar Tree, or you can get them at Michael's. But because this vase is so large and so tall, I'm going to be putting some pampas grass, which I've got down here, because I got some really tall pieces that would suit this. So what I'm going to do is add some pampas grass, and I'm going to add it like this. Now this pampas grass is, pieces of it is falling. Hopefully you can see. You're just literally just going to put the pampas grass in as it is, because this is just going to stand like in the corner of a room somewhere and look more boho rustic. Put a smaller piece, now that won't work, and put another piece in this, and now all the little pieces are coming off. That's normal with pampas grass, especially because I picked this pampas grass fresh. I didn't buy it, so that's how I'm going to be putting it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get hairspray, and you're going to spray all the leaves with hairspray, and what that does is it just stops it from falling apart and shedding. So let me get the hairspray and let's do it. Alrighty guys, I got my hairspray and now I'm just going to spray the leaves like so. Get it all around it. A few are going to fall off, that's okay. Okay, I think that is done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the corner of my room, and then I'm going to show you and give you a close-up of what it looks like against the wall and what the vase looks like close-up. So let me go put it there and I'll show you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so here is the finished look. Here is the white vase. I've just gone and put the vase next to my bar area here up against the blue wall. I love it. It pops out and it matches the carpet and the curtain that we have. So here is a little bit of a close-up of the vase. If you could see over here, I by accident put my finger in it and I had to cover it up. I guess I had to wait a little bit longer for it to dry. And then here's the pampas grass. It looks beautiful here in the corner. So overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really pretty here. I think I'm going to leave it here in the corner. So yeah, I love how it turned out. Alright guys, so that is the end of my video. I really hope you guys did enjoy watching me make this vase and adding some pampas grass. This is such a great idea, especially I know a lot of us are still in lockdown or have a little bit more time on our hands. You can do this at home. You could even do this as a hobby or a side business. You could be making these and selling them online. There's so many things you can do with it. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please could you give me a big thumbs up underneath this video. If you guys haven't already, please could you subscribe to my channel. It's the big red button down below, and hit the notifications bell next to it so you guys get notified every time I post a new video. Also guys, I'd like to mention that I got some new socials like TikTok and Instagram for me and my business. So if you guys would like to follow my journey there, that would be great. I will leave all my links to all my handles down below. Alright guys, see you soon. Adios.